So this is the second Meet the Director event. We had one in person last November. And the purpose of these meetings, and in particular this one, is to give you a kind of general feeling about what the program is about. And I know that some of you might already read a lot or talked to some friends that are on the program, so you might know already what are the main features of the program. But I think it's always useful to hear from us, from me, my view of what the program offers, okay? And also I'll try to give you some insights into who might benefit from attending the program. Before I start, I think it's useful to introduce the team. Of course, I'm just one member of the team, mainly the face, but the people who make the program are in the background are Nikki Reynolds, who is the program and admissions manager. Dr. Kerstin Castle is the marketing manager, is with us here, waving. And also Yi Jun Lin, who is a communication, events, and relationship coordinator. And finally, Associate Professor Monique Boddington, who is the Deputy Director of the program. We all have different kind of expertise, so I know some things about the program, not everything. So if you have some specific questions that I'm not able to answer, please send an email to the program, and Nikki or Kerstin will be able to answer your questions. So what is the agenda for today? So we are going to present the MST, and of course I will provide my own view, but also we are very lucky today to have some of the current students on the program with us. In particular, we have Fafa, Imbal, Gaurav, Fawaz, and Victor with us today. And they will be able to share, and happy to share with you their own experience on the program and answer any question that you might have. So in the last part, when we have the Q&A, you will be able to direct questions directly to them, okay? So as I said, what we're gonna do, I will say a few words about myself, then I will introduce the program, and then spend some time talking about who can benefit from attending the program. A few words about myself. Of course, the Meet the Director event is about the program, not me, but because you will interact quite a lot with me, just let me tell you a few words. I'm an economist by training, and I started studying economics in Rome, and I did a BA and a PhD in economics, and then I actually moved to the Judge Business School, and I did a PhD in management. So I made a transition from economics to managerial economics, and then strategic decision making. I'm currently a management practice associate professor in the school, and of course also the academic director of the program. And when I'm not engaged with teaching or administration duties, I carry out research on decision making. In particular, I look at the situation where people are exposed to what they call black swan events. And if you join the program, you will hear me talking a lot about this topic and what are the consequences of this, the existence of black swan for strategy making, okay? Right, so what is the program about? As you might have seen from our information online, the program is a 2-year part-time degree where you are supposed to pass 13 modules and a major project at the end of the modules. It consists of a combination of online courses and in-person practical activities, which include, of course, the lectures by the faculty, but also workshops and industry seminars by practitioners who come during the residential week and beyond to give you, to introduce you to some particular topic. It's the course is the program is very rigorous from an academic perspective. And the idea is also that we foster a kind of learning by doing approach where we present the latest frameworks or concept of decision styles or decision frameworks. And then, of course, the idea is that you are able, being a part-time program, to absorb and apply this knowledge to your own venture or the venture that you're trying to build, okay? So there are three pillars. The first pillar is the academic pillar. And as I said, there will be mainly faculty members that will deliver the different courses. And we will do it in a blended learning environment. So there will be content online. And for each module, there will be potential where the lecturers will deliver in person some content of the different courses. Of course, this is not just about learning theory, but the aim of the course is to provide some kind of clarity in the way you think about the world. And so it's not the knowledge per se, but the ability to digest this knowledge and apply to your day-by-day life. It's what really matters. The second pillar is the practical application. And as I said, there will be many activities that will be delivered by experts. For example, industry experts that will talk about a particular industry or the last development of that industry. And of course, the idea is that even if it's not exactly the industry you are working in or that you aspire to work in, the kind of lessons that they can give you are very insightful, even by analogy to your own current line of work. And so we select every year experts that are able to cover many of the industries that you are interested in, and they will come to the judge and deliver their own experience. There will be also skills workshops, anything from communicating the value of your business or pitching or storytelling. And of course, you will also followed for the entire 2 years by a mentor, which will provide a one-to-one guidance for the entire duration of the program. Typically, these are experienced entrepreneurs who work with us and try to provide some of their experience to you. And also, it's part of the practical application, the major projects that you will be called to deliver in the last part of the program, where you will be able to apply many of the tools and frameworks that we have provided to your business opportunity or a particular idea that you would like to study. Okay, and finally, and this is really an important pillar of the program, is the peers and the community engagement. You will be part of a college along with your classmates, and you will be full part of the college, so you can enjoy all the benefits that come with being part of a college in Cambridge. But most of all, you will be surrounded by people, your peers, who are people who have shared the same kind of mindset. They have the same kind of challenges and aspirations that you have. And it's from this interaction of you with your peers that you really will gain much out of this program. So you will be able to build friendship, a network of individuals that really will, a network that will last far beyond the program itself. And of course, you will benefit from the ecosystem in Cambridge. There's so much going on, and I always say that how much you get from the program is how much you put into it. So there are many things going on in the entire university and beyond. So if you have time to be around, you will be able to also enjoy the broader ecosystem of what it can offer. In terms of structure, very quickly, so we have 2 years. And we start with the September residential. And in the first term, you will be asked to take 4 core modules. And in the second term, in the land term, 3 additional core modules. And there will be another core module in year 2 at the beginning, which is called the core research methods module, which serve to give you the main knowledge, the basic knowledge to be able to go on with the major project. So together, 8 core modules, and then we have to pick up 5 electives in 2 rounds from a list of typically 11 choices, okay? And so you will be able to decide and create your own pathway through the program by picking up the courses that interest you the most, okay? So there will be some common knowledge which everybody has to be exposed to, modules, and then the ability of make your own course, okay? And in these 2 years, there will be 4 residentials, which for modules either they open, let's say in September, you start with organizational behavior, and the modules start with a lecturer in residence deliver the lecture to you, or it could be for the length term that the residentials happen at the end of the term, and so the lecturer in this case will close the module with the last lecture, okay? And so there will be 3 residential in year 1 and 1 residential in year 2, which is in December, and is a transition point really to the major project, okay? The residentials are a fundamental part of the program. The students can talk about this more than I can, but the idea is that these 4 residentials really create the kind of learning environment and the bonds between students that allow them to go on in between residentials with the activities that we propose, okay? And there will be action learning teams where people will join and during the course to deal with some of the tasks that we will propose. Some people ask why there are these 8 core modules, which are very general and everybody has to take. And the answer is that, in essence, we believe that an entrepreneur has to have a very wide set of skills, okay? This is why, because he plays usually, especially in a small organization, different roles. And so I like to say that they need to wear many different hats, okay? So if you think about the entrepreneur at the center of all of this, he has to play a pioneer kind of role. Why? Because he has to explore the new territories, create a new market or even a new industry, try to understand what are some unmet customers' need that might be out there. And sometimes it's about discovering opportunity that exist out there. Sometimes it's really creating kind of transformative opportunities through their own action. So it's really about developing innovation skills and act as an innovator or someone who exploit an existing opportunity, right? But also, you have to have a strategic role, right? So you have to be able to analyze the external environment, understand the competitive landscape, understand which kind of resources you have and whether these resources allow you to compete in the landscape in a certain way, and formulate a strategy that allow you to have a unique value proposition. But then, of course, you also have to be a manager. You have to administrate to have some administrative skills. So you have to build the operations, control the expenses, managing prices, make decisions on all sort of aspects that have relevance for the way you manage the organization, right? And so you really need to develop these administrative skills. And finally, you also have to develop management skills, people skills. Of course, you will be called to create a team, to motivate people to achieve some results, to create a vision, negotiate and resolve conflicts within the organization, being able to communicate effectively to the various stakeholders. What is the purpose of the organization? What is the vision? So in essence, you need really to have a well-rounded set of skills. Even if maybe you will not be in charge of finance, you will have to be able to delegate and understand the basics of finance in order to be able to be an effective entrepreneur. So that's the idea behind all of this, that we really need to develop a very wide, well-rounded set of skills. How do we do it? I mean, there's an old saying which says, for a person with a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, right? And that's the problem is whether you are facing a screw, and then maybe you don't need a hammer, but you need a screwdriver, right? And this idea is behind our teaching philosophy. We know that the problem that entrepreneurs face are of different nature, and so you cannot be exposed to only to one theory or one frame or one tool, right? Or one single way of being exposed to knowledge. And so we try to come up with a number of tools, a number of frameworks, and to deliver this knowledge through a variety of teaching methods. So you might use stimulation, case studies, self-assessment tools, discussion, lots of discussion between you and your peers in class and online. So there will be a variety of tools that we will use to make sure that you get the best out of this knowledge. I often, especially when I am in airports, I go to the bookshop and pick up a book. And there are these books when they say, the 5 fundamental steps to motivate employees, or the 3 principles to be a successful entrepreneur. I always feel that this book really, promise things that cannot be delivered, right? The problem that entrepreneurs face are complicated, ill-defined. You can look at the problem with multiple angles. There is no one single recipe that you can follow to be successful. And so you really need to look at the same problem from different angles, be exposed to different kind of knowledge in different way in order to increase the chances of being successful, right? Probably a book that you are very familiar, all of you, is the Lean Startup, right? Which claim, and I'm quoting here, provide a comprehensive theory of entrepreneurship, right? So this kind of idea that entrepreneurship can be reduced to a set of principles that work no matter what. This is, of course, not something that we believe is true. And so whilst the Lean Startup has some virtues, for example, there are also some limitations. And we will work on the boundary conditions of every framework that we provide to let you know what are the conditions under which it can work and help you to further your venture. Okay, this is very much what I wanted to say about the program in general, to give you an overview. So who can benefit from the program? I mean, of course, we all acknowledge, and the team knows that there are many different ways to become an entrepreneur, and that you don't really need a master to become an entrepreneur. Yeah. You could learn what it takes by practicing entrepreneurship. You might assemble the relevant information that is needed by yourself. Maybe you have a lack of knowledge in finance, and then you take one course in finance, and that is enough. Or maybe you find a mentor that can help you to navigate the entrepreneurial journey. So there are many different ways of becoming entrepreneur. And so if you decide to apply for this master, I think it's very useful to say a few words about who we believe might benefit from taking this route to entrepreneurship and not others, okay? So what are the key words that come to mind? First of all, we want individuals who are entrepreneurial, right? So we want people who are really genuinely interested in entrepreneurship, who are practicing entrepreneurship, people who can show evidence of having, made some entrepreneurship initiatives in the past. So, and these are the people that we want for three basic reasons. The first one is that the content that we offer is content that is tailored to entrepreneurs. So if you're looking for stuff that would be found on any MBA course, then you would be disappointed. So as an example, we often talk about problem solving in MBA courses. So you have a problem and I give you the tool to solve the problem, right? But in entrepreneurship, it's more than problem solving. It's about problem formulation, problem identification, or even problem creation, right? There was no problem. The problem comes because you developed an idea, and with the idea comes a problem. And so it's much more about understanding what is the problem statement and then finding the solution to a problem that is given to you. Entrepreneurship problems are not given to you. You have to come up with your problem and try to provide a solution. We want people who are able to apply our tools. They're able to take the learning, applying own day-by-day work, and come to class and tell us, well, this really doesn't work, or work partially, and this is the adjustment that I need to do, or this is what is my opinion about, under which condition these tools can be applied. And finally, we need entrepreneurs because we want a class of people who share the same view, like-minded people who can share their own experience. They are facing the same problems, they speak the same language. So we really need people who are interested in sharing with others their journey through entrepreneurship. They have to be committed. By the course is challenging. There's a lot of material that will be delivered to you. Year one and year two offer different kind of challenges. Of course, it can be done. This is being designed for people who are working. And so it can be done, but as usual, with every master that I am aware of, the material is demanding. And so you need to be able to keep up with the material, to be able to contribute online to the discussion between people of your team or the forum. So you need to, for example, to have the same vocabulary, understand what are the terms, what they mean, in order to have a fruitful kind of discussion. So committed, open. A lot of people, all of us, come to a place with our own beliefs. These beliefs come from our background, our experience, and often these beliefs are, kind of are biased by all the path that we took during our life, right? So what we want people that come with their own belief and are willing to share, but they're also willing to be challenged by others. They're willing to put their own belief under the test. They are willing to change their mind if an argument is proposed to them that makes sense, right? So people who are really open-minded, they have a desire to learn from the lecturer, but most importantly from the others in the class. If you don't have this mindset, you will be frustrated, you will not enjoy the exchange. So really, we need this kind of open-minded people to come on the program. Also, we stress in the team stresses the fact that we want to create a culture of sharing. You are not really competing with each other to get a job at McKinsey as a consultant. Everybody is going in his direction, is trying to provide something unique and is in his own journey, right? And so what we want to create a culture where people really share and understand the productivity of teams rather than the idea of the rock star entrepreneur, okay? And so if you do not have this kind of cooperative mindset, again, you will not engage in the way we want. You will not be able to foster a discussion in the class that is good for everybody, okay? And finally, we also want people who do the things the right way, right? I can tell you last week, students presented the major projects idea to me and to other lecturers, and it was incredibly rewarding for me to see that people do not just think about an idea per se, but they think about realizing this idea in the right way, right? So in a way that is very much in line with what the Judge Business School wants to put forward, and the idea that people, use entrepreneurship to make a change in the world, taking care of things like being sustainable, diversity, being inclusive, using equitable business practices, and so on. So it has to be also responsible. Okay, so I think I close here.